Yeah, it sounds pretty average. Oh my God. Ah! No turning back now. Hey, welcome back. So today I'm gonna just address some more issues with this thing before my next event. Some of the stuff I've already sorted out, like in the last episode, I hooked my fan up to a switch. Yeah! Now the water pump's leaking, that's a given. So we'll definitely be doing that. Also my power steering. Last event, it spewed everywhere. On the other hand, to make matters worse, I even deleted the factory cooler. There's the factory cooler, the one that used to run around the front of the radiator, which is probably fine for day-to-day driving, but not for lock-to-lock at 5,000 RPM all day long. So I'll have to try and source a cooler for the power steering or some solution to that. We'll start with the water pump. Just by the sounds of that, I'd say the water pump is the cause of my noise. Power steering pump feels okay, which is good. All 10mm. So sometimes you can put 10mm bolts in these little vacant holes on the sides and they can help push the water pump out if it's stuck. Don't do like me and use this. Maybe just use hand tools. Don't be rough. Don't be rough like Rob. Still stuck. Hey! Wunderbar! Yeah, it sounds pretty average. Now you see, this is a plastic impeller version. These ones can be problematic. It's a plastic, because the plastic can separate from the shaft and it'll spin on the shaft and you won't even know that you're not getting any flow. Alright, got a new pump. What's this say? An old worn out fan clutch will cause water pump to fail and should be replaced with new water pump. Failure to change the fan clutch can void the water pump warranty. Now I have heard that with these where like a manual fan will wear these out, which makes sense because there's a lot more load on the actual bearing of the pump. But in this case with the electric fan we should be fine. And see, I got a metal impeller version, which most of the aftermarket ones you buy these days I'd say would have a metal impeller. There's my old one. Ooh, are they the same? Yep, looks pretty good to me. And if you didn't already know, only use rubber grease on these rubber seals. No other grease. Or sealant. Definitely don't use sealant. Alright, that's that done. Sounds a bit better. It's really awesome if you got a drift or a track beamer and you've sort of minimized what it takes to get the front off. It makes doing work so easy. Getting the front off and the radiator, I reckon, took me 15 minutes max. Obviously, if you go into the level of the radiator, it's going to be a pain because you've got to bleed it when you put it back together, but still makes doing work super easy. The water pump's all done. I just grabbed a new belt as well because the other one was looking a bit average. These pulleys still felt pretty good, so I'm just going to leave them for now. All right, now to deal with my steering overheating. Once again, I turned to eBay to solve all my problems. It's not the absolute dirt cheapest one I could get, but it seems pretty good. It's designed to be an oil cool, like an engine oil cooler, so it's designed to handle pressure. But this will be going on the low pressure side of the power steer, so it's not going to be under that much pressure at all. Same deal, it comes with nice high pressure AN fittings and braided lines. Fun fact about AN fittings is they were a joint standard agreed upon between the Army and the Navy, hence AN. And that's why they're usually in blue and red. So we can all sleep well tonight knowing that. Oh yeah. Yep, so that's seen better days. Lucky I got some new stuff. Just hope I didn't fry anything last drift session. So I've just loosely fit the radiator and the front end back on just so I can size up where I want the cooler to go. This looks like as good a place as any to have it mounted to this. There are probably better places for cooling, like down lower or off to the side away from the radiator, but just for convenience, this is where I'm going. Yeah, somewhere around there is probably the best. I'll have the 90 degrees coming off here and then I'll just reroute it into there. First, I've just got to make up some sort of 90 degree brackets for this. Turned out pretty good. 25mm by 40mm aluminium angle. There's not much gap between the cooler and the mount on the car, so I might just have to space these out a little bit. But yeah, turned out pretty good, I reckon. Trusty old riv nuts again. These things are a lifesaver. So I've also used riv nuts on the car where I'm going to mount it. I probably should have removed the whole lot again so I didn't drill through the radiator, which I didn't. But I actually just put a block of wood there, so when I was drilling through here, I didn't go straight through the radiator, which is something I would have the potential of doing. But yeah, we'll chuck this on here now. All right, all the bolts line up, so I've obviously drilled it all correctly. Happy days. So I just pulled the front off again, took the radiator out obviously, and just gave this a hit of paint, so it's all nice and pretty now. So now I'm gonna run my lines to the power steering and work all that out. I'm going to run it from the return from the power steering rack, which is this one here, because this is where it's going to be coming in hot, is all the way back up to the reservoir. So it's the return from the rack to the reservoir. That's the one we're running. All right, weather's taking a bit of a turn. So now connecting the cooler to the reservoir. So this is imperial and the power steering hoses are metric. So the return line from the rack to the pump is 12mm internal diameter. So I've just gone to my local hose shop, which here in Australia is Pertec. NZ is another one, and got one of these. Tapered AN fitting to a 1/2 inch barb. So this is 12mm, but I should be able to still make this work. So that will go here, and that will go like that. So I'm just going to tape it up so when I cut it, it stops it fraying a bit, hopefully. Yeah! Helped a little bit. Now I only just cut through the braiding, just so I didn't put rubber shavings all through the pipe. A bit ugly, but it works. Alright, this is always the fun part. Trying to feed all this back in. Ow! There probably is a better way of doing this. Maybe you can tell me in the comments. My God. Ah! Ta-da! Alright, got our two hoses. So the big one goes to the rack. To this side of the cooler. And then the shorter one from this side of the cooler to the reservoir. There we go. That's all plumbed up now. Fill up the power steering and the coolant now. Fingers crossed, all good. Alright, it's been a couple of days now. Just recheck the levels. Oh, yeah, little pee-pee sticking up, that's a good sign. The car giving you the thumbs up, coolant's all good. Yep, power steering's all good too, so yeah, should mean all the air's been bled out of the system. Alright, now there's one more thing I want to do to this. Drifty holes. So just try and get a bit more airflow to the cooler here. I've just roughly marked out where I want all the holes to go. I think they're about 76mm. Alright, so just eyeball the center line. No turning back now. Ta-da! Alright, there we go. Turned out pretty good. I just measured about a 15mm gap between each one of these big holes. Hopefully he'll stay a cool boy now. Alright, I guess we'll have to wait till next drift session to see if this cooler's actually helped. I hope you got value out of this, especially if you're doing something similar. I hope that anything I've done here has helped you out at all. If I've only helped a few people, then it's made my day. If you're interested in the full journey of me building this thing or learning how to drift it, I've got full playlists right from the beginning here. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. See you in the next one.